Good afternoon, and welcome to Cold Talk, the news show that informs you, the audience, on the current state of the world. In today's show, we'll be featuring information on what you can do in the potential threat of a nuclear attack, with exclusive access to the not-so-secret bunker in Nantwich. Today we're also joined by Colonel Bob Millington and Dr. Francis Grace of the University of Cambridge. Thank you for joining us. But before that, due to recent events in Cuba, the Queen has informed the country to be prepared for a nuclear war. We are now going to our on-site reporter, Dave Jones, who will be bringing us information from the newly opened bunker in Nantwich.
Hi, I'm reporting live here from the secret bunker in Hackney in Nantwich. That's very thoroughly impressed with the facilities there. We spoke with James, agreed to give us access to all areas to all of the facilities. We'll be speaking to doctors along with caterers working in the bunker along with civil servants who are in charge of keeping you safe in the event of nuclear war. Much more to come later in the show, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Dave. Very interesting indeed. We'll come back to you later on in the show. Now, I'm sure that you've heard about Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher opening the bunker in Nantwich due to the current state of the world, with this potential nuclear attack from the Soviet Union. So, what are your thoughts, Bob? I'm sure you're happy that the country is taking precautions for the worst possible outcome?
Yes, of course. It's very important that we're prepared for the imminent attack. The Soviets are clearly acting aggressively as ever, and I feel like Thatcher's doing a jolly good job of being prepared. Yes.
How many of us really are going to be prepared? You know, the bunker, the people that the bunker was made for, you know, probably less than half are actually going to be able to get there. It's, you know, it's in the middle of Nantwich. People over here aren't going to be able to get there in the event of a nuclear war.
So, how likely is it, Bob, that a nuclear war will start? And what would you suggest that we do if it does?
Well, it's hard to say, really. It's all dependent on several factors, of course. Firstly, to consider is the Soviet Union's state of affairs, how they feel about us, and that old chap Ronald Reagan up in the US of A. I know that they're a trigger-happy bunch, but let's just hope for the best, I say.
Well, some certainly very conflicting viewpoints. We'll have more from our guests later on in the show. But first, we're now heading back to reporter Dave Jones, who is now on site inside the secret bunker.
General Fox agreed to join me at the secret bunker to show me around the facility. What does the government department offer for the function of the bunker?
In this office are a number of civil servants in the following ministry departments. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, for example, the Department of the Environment, the Department of Health, Hospitals and Doctors, Civil Aviation, the Judiciary and the Treasury. The many officers and advisors are called upon by the Commissioner to assist in the rebuilding and regional growth and infrastructure of the country.
Hat Green Bunker serves a central role in defence for Britain, protecting the country against the imminent threat of nuclear war from the Soviet Union. Your bunker is one of a limited amount of facilities operable to protect us against the nuclear threat. But how is Hat Green functional to serve this purpose?
A key part of Britain's preparedness for nuclear war is the Ballistic Missile Early Warning System. The main warning display you see behind me indicates the missile information prior to and during a nuclear strike. The central display indicates the communication state, and the alert board indicates the alert status of the various NATO commands. Using the large map of the UK, military commanders can monitor the status and disposition of radar and aircraft intercept defences.
This has been Dave Jones reporting live from the bunker. Back to you in the studio.
Now, last week we asked you to tell us about your opinions on the bunker in Nantwich's grand opening. Some of you have gotten back to us with some really interesting points. This bunker is a ridiculous idea. It would be just a way for the wealthy to keep themselves safe, while leaving us working class people in the debris as always. What a fabulous thing Margaret Thatcher is doing. She can't put a step wrong, preparing the country for a nuclear war just after winning the Falklands War. I don't understand how we are all supposed to fit inside this bunker. It must be a pretty big bunker. Some very strong opinions indeed. We thank you for your input. The general public clearly have lots to say as always. Great to hear. Now we're going back to Dave Jones, who has been scouring the bunker for someone to talk to about the food situation within the bunker.
How hygienic is the area that you work in? Do you have to reuse food waste? What would you do in the case of a nuclear attack?
Well, I'm glad that's been cleared up. No one wants to go hungry, especially in nuclear war. Isn't that right, Bob?
Actually, I would say hunger is a second priority to quite a lot of things, because when you think about it, what would you prefer, to go hungry for a few days or to have your face melted off? I just don't believe that dead men need feeding, if I'm honest.
I agree to a certain extent. I guess it's the lesser of two evils, you know. You either die because you can't fit in the bunker that was made for you, or starve inside of it.
Well, I definitely agree there. There's nothing worse than a man with an empty stomach, am I right, Bob? Now, moving swiftly on, I hear Dave is waiting in the infirmary with one of the doctors within the bunker.
So, Dr. Trafford, would you say your job holds an increasing amount of responsibility?
Yeah, there's a huge amount of responsibility. It's my job to ensure that 135 civil servants and military personnel survive a nuclear attack, and to ensure this happens with the equipment I have available at my disposal, such as complex generating plants, air conditioning, light support, nuclear fallout filters, communications, and emergency water supply.
What are the effects of nuclear fallout and radiation poisoning?
The effects specifically are the list known. Radiation poisoning starts to affect the hair, very quickly, clumps appear at the top of the head from radiation exposure, at some of the ribs or hands. The second part of the body that is affected by radiation is the brain. Since brain cells don't reproduce, the cells will be damaged directly as the exposure is 5,000 rems or greater. The thyroid gland is susceptible to radioactive iodine, but when a person is exposed around 100 rems, cell cancer is leading to exposure to imaging medicine. Then there's the heart, if exposed to radioactivity below 1,000 to 5,000 rems would give immediate damage to more blood vessels and probably cause heart failure.
Very informative indeed. Now, we all know about the bunker and why it is there. But the question on everyone's mind is, who gets to go in the bunker? Francis, what are your thoughts? Do you think you should go in the bunker?
I know there's probably a lot of people that can't afford themselves to go in the bunker, which probably isn't the right way of going about it. With it being so far away, I probably wouldn't actually make it to the bunker in time. You know, if a nuclear war went off for you, you've probably got 5 minutes at the most to get there. I can't get there from where I am at the moment, so...
Now, what about children? Shouldn't they be prioritised? Bob, what are your thoughts?
To be honest, old chap, absolutely not. Children are absolutely useless in the case of a war. As you may know, they are one of the main casualties of war, and casualties have no place surviving, I'm afraid. I believe that we should have a high concentration of important people inside the bunker so that we are ready to re-establish society.
Such as yourself?
Such as myself, of course, yes, old boy.
So we're really thinking about the future here, really.
Yes.
You know, spending all of this money on something that probably, you know, is not really that likely to happen. That could have probably been spent on education, and then we're also going to have no children to rebuild the future either.
Children are too young to be rebuilding any future, I'm afraid.
Certainly a predicament. Let's hope we sort out who gets to go in the bunker before it's too late. We're now heading back to the bunker with Dave Jones, bringing us more news and information.
As a member of the civil servant sector, there are a number of jobs you can take. In the lower level of the bunker here, there's the generating plant, air conditioning, life support, the nuclear fallout filter, communications, which is where I'm based, and the emergency water. All offices are manned at all times, just in case there's an attack on the bunker. It's vital in case of attack. The entire bunker houses 135 civil servants and military personnel here. I'm the head of communications. I work in the communications centre, making sure that everybody knows what's going on here in the bunker and maintaining outside contact if needs be.
Well, that was certainly very interesting view on it. I'm intrigued to hear more. We'll be going back to Dave very shortly. I don't know that bit. Now, if you're wondering more about the... Now, if you're wondering more about the bunker, you can contact them when they are stationed, which is French Lane, Nantwich, Cheshire, CW5 8AP. Now over to Dave, who I believe has got us some information on the security within the bunker.
So, how secure is the bunker? What precautions do you take to keep the bunker safe?
Well, we do have top-of-the-range, weaponry and stuff like that, which I've been professionally trained how to use. If it comes to it and I have to use it, that's that.
Get back to Dave. We will certainly try and get back to Dave shortly and inform you of the situation. It's important to be prepared, as you probably know too well, right, Bob?
Yes, of course, old boy. It's very important to be prepared. Thatcher was very prepared during the Falklands, and that's why we succeeded. And I'm sure we'll succeed when it comes to facing the Soviets, because Britain is together.
I don't know really how much you can be prepared for. You know, if there's a nuclear war, how many of us are going to survive, especially if we can't really fit into these preparations that are being made.
Very few, very few.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there. We're getting some news in from one of our inside men from Russia. Let's see if we can patch him in.
Оставьте!
We seem to have lost contact with our informant. We'll try to get back to him as soon as we can. But now we're going to go straight over to Dave, who's reporting from the bunker.
What's happening? Red alert. Attack alert red. Action stations. Attack alert red. Attack alert red. This is not a drill. This is not a
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't quite believe what I'm seeing. We don't quite have confirmation yet, but it would appear that World War III.